Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, hello, my beautiful people of YouTube. It's nice to see you all here this morning. I'm sorry I couldn't do the first song because I'm not in a good mood. It's not a good day for me. It's not a good day for America. And I'm not going to hype us up to be a good day, okay? Yesterday was very, very rough on me as well as a lot of my friends. It was very, very hard on America as a whole. It's been very hard for me to talk about this without crying. It's been very emotional. So I'm going to do the best I can because this is just another case that we have to go over. And we got to get informed on what's going on. So right now, to inform you guys, and I know many of you guys tuned in to watch me last night. And we don't have the guy. We just don't have the guy. And if you guys please excuse me if this is a little tear-filled, if you guys hear the emotion in my voice, I really can't help it. I'm trying to do the best I can and I really can't help it. So I apologize in advance. But at the end of the day, we do not have a shooter. We do not have a gunman. We had bullets yesterday. It sounds like reports are finally coming out that they have acquired the firearm itself. The individual, which now is being described as a college-age student, I don't believe that. I just don't. And I mean, if it is, it's going to be somebody highly trained and highly skilled that's already been poached before they went to high school. I'm sorry, I just don't believe this is a high school kid. I don't believe that. Or it's not high school, college age kid. I don't believe that it's anybody from that college that would be able to mastermind something like we just saw. I really don't. There was somebody on a roof. I've been looking over equipment, and even though I told you guys I wouldn't go back and look at the videos, I did. I did go back and look at all of them because it's my job. And as tough as it is, that's what we do. I've seen a lot of gruesome things covering cases. And if this is a little harder, it's going to be a little harder. That's all there is to it. But we are getting reports. I don't know which way we're going with this. On all honesty, there's so many things going on here in our country. What is the defining moment? Is it the gun violence? Is it the cutting of the purse strings? Is it the Epstein files? These are things that are being circulated around social media, and there were some, Charlie was kind of standing up in some respects against, in part, some Israel type of commentary. Is that what it is? Because it's our understanding that Mossad, Mossad, they are, I'll just read this here because, this is, the Mossad is the Israeli National Intelligence Agency responsible for foreign intelligence gathering, covert operations, and counterterrorism. And there are some, let me read this, some of these posts to you. So it says, Charlie was really big on exposing Epstein files, and he also tied Epstein to the Mossad. That alone was enough to have him assassinated. Remember when he did an about face just a month ago and said he wasn't going to talk about Epstein anymore? That was probably because he was threatened. So, we have a lot of theories out there right now related to what could have possibly happened to Charlie. And I know what I saw, and I know what I saw seemed pretty stinking professional. We don't see a whole lot of this, but we've studied a lot of this in the past, even with JFK, his assassination, even going further back than that. I mean, many of us in history class learned and studied about Abraham Lincoln's assassination. And while we didn't have any video per se of, Abraham Lincoln, we've definitely over the years been privy to the assassination of RFK. Sorry, JFK. Good gracious, I can't even think this morning. If I tell you guys I didn't sleep well last night, I did not sleep well last night. I've been highly upset. I've been talking to a lot of my friendly patriots. I can tell you right now what I'm seeing out there. I want to play this for you guys because this has been a change of heart for many people. It really has. This came out from Conservative Ant, which I've known from my work with my political affiliations and being at all these. Again, all of us know each other because we're always at all these events. Again, some people rise to the cream of the crop, like Charlie, like Benny, Brandon, Craig Long. I mean, Craig Long was a nobody until the Brexit rather. I mean, we have a lot of strong people. MAGA Hawk, which is Stephen, Stephen Davis. We have just a lot of people, and we all know each other. It's just we all ran the same circuit and still to this day do. Not at the caliber they are because, I deal with true crime now, and I'm not at every one of these events like I used to be prior to Gabby Petito's case. But either way, I do want you guys to hear this because this is really what has been. Where's my page? Hold on, I don't think I'm on my page specifically. Let me go to my page. Because I am releasing some of this stuff. I mean, this is Penny. This is one of the first ladies that I sat next to at a Trump rally in Sarasota. This is a lady that has done a lot of great things here in the state of Florida.
But I've never had a friend that was shot for the First Amendment. I feel like I need to do something. I don't know what to do. I'm so sad and devastated over this.
These are just some of the people. These are just some of the people. Here.
Kirk just got shot. America, we gotta heal. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this thing where we demonize people for having different beliefs. Where we try to cancel and convict and kill people for saying what they think is the truth. even if we disagree with it.
We're going to go over some more information. These are all types of people. Our trans community coming out.
Debating at the Utah Valley College. And this happened while we've been streaming. I've literally been editing a video. I'm about to upload it right now. And I'm literally stunned. Like, what is going on, dude? For speaking the truth, that's what happened? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Just all types of stuff. And we're going to get to updates. But there was one from Conservative Ann. I'm going to find it. Anyways, it was a person that is a leftist, a known leftist, and says, you know what? No, here it is.
Videos of just the left being pro-unaliving political opponents, whether that be Trump, J.D. Vance, people celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk today. It's just disgusting behavior. The fact that I have been a part of the left for 7 years, I never thought we'd get to the point where I would have to look at my own party and be like, oh, hold on, I can't support you anymore because everything that you are doing right now is against your political viewpoints and your values and beliefs. To sit here and promote gun violence against your opponents is wrong. And it arguably makes you worse than the other side because you're basically saying these people deserve to be unalived because our political beliefs are more important and should stand and should have more value than a human life. Ooh. Yeah, that doesn't sit right with me at all. No.
So it's about time that everybody takes the blinders off and sees what's going on. And I think even their own party is starting to say, wait a minute, we're espousing that we don't do this, that this is against our beliefs and our ideology, yet we're encouraging it. How is that working? How is that working? Let me go ahead and pull this up. Oh, I forgot to set my, hold on here. Forgot to set it. There it is. There we go. This is going to be hard, but here's what I was saying based on, you know, what I'm reading in one of the theories that have been put out there about the Mossad. And of course, I don't know what the Mossad is. You know, I live in the United States. I'm not really, you know, the globetrotter. And I don't know all these facets of different governments, okay? And so I have to do some research when I see, and that's what I do. If I hear something I don't know or anything like that, if I don't know it, I want to learn it, you know? So I never stop talking about it. I never stop hearing about it. Like, these are allies to us. You know, I don't know if it's gotten here, but who knows? Who knows? The Epstein files are a big deal. You know, obviously they're a big deal. Yeah, the Israel's CIA. That's basically what we're, you know, potentially. Now, we're not saying that this is true or anything like that. We have no information, okay? Anybody that tells you this, even me, I'm screaming out Obama, Hillary, John Brenner, and George Soros, right? Because I think that they would have okayed this, you know. Obviously, Brennan's CIA skills and the people that he knows to carry out stuff like this, and of course George Soros and everything that we do out here in the country. He's always got his tentacles involved. I wish they would cut off his funding here in the United States and ship him back to wherever the fuck he came from. That's just my personal belief. Sorry for using the F-bomb. I will try my best throughout this programming to rein myself in, and I'm gonna have to do that for myself. If you guys are having low volume, you might want to turn it up on your end, because I'm pretty sure everything's turned up on my end, but I'll check it. There might be a possibility of me not having, no, my sound seems like it's all the way up. So it might be just some volume issues on your end as opposed to mine. I should be clear. Is everybody hearing me okay out there in the ether? Hopefully everybody's hearing me. Mine is all the way up. Okay, so we are having some problems. Hold on here. Mic volume. How about that? Is that better for you guys? Can you guys hear me a little bit better now? I'm good. Let me see if I can go into the system settings here and Maybe there's something down behind the scenes that I'm not looking at. I just turned my microphone. I'm in earbuds. No, it didn't help. Okay, so let me go over here, see where we are. This is our output. Our output is all the way to the front. Now, my input volume. This might help. Does that help better? Because it's showing my microphone was really, really, really down all the way at the bottom. So, can you guys hear me now? I hear you fine. I need to find out from Hobo's Life and Robin. Did my volume just turn up significantly? Much better? Okay. So it was behind the scenes stuff. Hopefully I'm not breaking your ears now, because now we are full-fledged Bullhorn Betty. Okay. Hey, guys. I am so sorry about that. Don't know what happened, but leave it to the gremlins inside, Betty's. Okay, I'm so glad I caught it, because you guys know me. I'm trying to get better at major health. Okay, all right, guys, it's nice to see you. Thank you all for being here. I know this is not, nobody likes politics, right? Nobody likes politics, and nobody likes crime, but we come here every single day and watch the worst of our world out there, and I don't know who did this. I have my sneaky suspicions, and I absolutely believe I'm spot on. I really do. I think that this didn't have anything to do with Epstein. I don't think this had to do anything with gun control. I think this had to do with the deep state, the purse strings, the money we took. I want to say stole from them, but they didn't. They stole it from us. We're just getting it back. It's the exposure of the deep state. It's like, they've never had to be held accountable ever in their life, because at the end of the day, they, if we go low, they go lower, right? To the fact of, murdering, political activist, which many of you guys know. I've been touting my political activism, even though I don't bring all of it here, because there's only certain focuses that I have for this channel specifically, and it is our war on crime. It is our war on tougher penalties. It's our war on law and order across this country. I'm a law and order chick. I love great law enforcement people. I've got no appetite for corruption or BS. I'm a very straight shooter. I say it like it is. And, I mean what I say what I mean. I tell you guys, don't say it mean, but I sometimes do. And I'm just like that, and there are some things in my world that I'm hypocritical about, and I own it. I don't try to hide it. I don't try to lie to you about it. I'm a very biased person. I'm a very judgmental person. And I'm just this is my truth, my world. This is where I'm going with it. I have a clear plan in my head where this channel, what I want this channel to be and what I don't want this channel to be. Right? I've been very hateful, I will tell you, in all honesty, very, very hateful over the last 24 hours. I've been hateful to everybody. My president, our attorney general of the United States of America. I have been angry at the left. I've been angry at the Democrat Party. I've been angry at the mom and dads that have their heads in the sand and don't realize what they're voting for. I've been angry over the last 24 hours. Some kinds of the anger that, where I haven't thrown anything, but I can promise you I want to. Like, I want to pick up one of the most expensive items in my house and just break it to pieces right now. That's how I'm feeling today. And, even me, like I'm one thing I tell you guys, there's some things that are just worth fighting for. And I've been very vengeful. Like, I just want this stuff to come to the point I'm just ready to say, you know what? Let's do this civil WAR. Let's do this thing. Let's just go out in the streets, beat the living snot out of one another, and whoever wins takes all. Like, I'm done. I'm to the point where I can't look at this place and say that this is my home anymore. And I know that there's a lot of people that believe the same as I do, even though we're on opposite ends of the aisle, because I can't imagine that. I mean, we have all different people in the true crime genre, okay? different people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds. And we're all here crusading for these victims of crimes and crusading for the perpetrators to be put into jail. And I know that there are good-hearted people in this world, despite what umbrella they fall under. And I am reaching out to them. Those good-hearted people, right, left, down, straight down the middle. Even the ones that come with the piercing shaved heads and pink hair. Okay? You can't tell me that you want doom and gloom for you and your family as well as everybody else's family. There's no way. So let's get down to what is going on here. What do we know? We don't know a whole lot. Okay? And I can promise you we're not going to know a whole lot. We're going to get a sanitized version from our government, even with Donald J. Trump at the helm. Okay? Why? Because this is a criminal and a homicide investigation, and still all SOP, standard operating procedures, apply. So if we're going to find the information we need to have, guess what? It's going to be that work. It's going to be that work like just like any other case. Just like any other case, it's going to be that work. So what we have now is yesterday, we didn't have a whole lot of information, folks. What we knew yesterday is Charlie was injured. He was in critical condition. Although I did not show you the actual image of what I witnessed, I let you guys know where you could go find it. If you had the appetite to do it, I squealed because it was that horrific. When I saw what I saw, I knew he was gone. I was still, even though in my thick skull, I knew he was gone, I was still praying for that moment of hope and, maybe, just maybe they were able to get to him fast enough. But I kept going back, throughout that hour, that half hour, for however long, it seemed like eternity, lasted before we finally got the word from the president that he was gone. We were all hoping and praying, and I went back and I finally made a post. I think the post was like 5 minutes before the president came out with his statement, and I looked at it again and I'm like, I know everybody's telling us he's in critical condition, but I don't know how he could have survived that. I think he when he hit the ground, he was gone. There was so much reddish color substance leaving his body at a massive amount of speed. Okay, when I saw that and I looked again and I slowed it down and looked at the, you guys get it, right? I hate sanitizing. I have choices here. I can speak frank, or I can sanitize this all down. And I'm gonna go with the sanitized version of this, because right now I think if we went with another version, you guys would see a piece of Betty that you guys don't need to see. So we're gonna sanitize this. But the ejection site was probably a little smaller than my microphone. Okay. It was probably a little smaller than my microphone. Everybody's saying it's the jugular. I'm saying it's the carotid. They're both together. I guarantee it took both of them. This was definitely a K shot. It was definitely a K shot. It was a K shot. We know that the person was all in black. The problem is like I said, I've looked at and had an opportunity to field some information, and I think their focus at this moment is going to be on before this event. Remember, I told you last night they need to start finding out when this event was first publicized. Those type of things. I did get confirmation that the FBI is actually looking at that as well. So we've got a lot of information here. So let me just get all the factual stuff out of here so you guys get the lowdown of what, the government, mainstream media, law enforcement, and everybody else wants us to know, and then we'll start having some conversations about this. I also want, yes, I know, thank you for reminding us. I also want to say that today marks an ugly day in history as well. It marks an ugly day in history as well. Where 9/11, and this is almost a very, very hard time for me personally, folks, because here's what 9/11 happened 24 years ago. On the 20th anniversary, my uncle died. I was out in Tampa, Pinellas area, celebrating, at a rally with signs and flags and photo ops with everybody. And then we decided to go to a veteran event at the VFW somewhere in Clearwater. And while I was sitting there with my friends, laughing and having the time of my life, and this was on the 20-year anniversary, I get a call, and of course I ignore it because I'm out with my friends, and it was from my aunt. And then I get another call, and it's my mom, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just ignore it. If my mom calls back, then it's an emergency. And my mom called back, and I realized my aunt called, my mom called twice. I need to call somebody back and find out what's going on. And that's when I realized my uncle had passed away. And then now we're fast forwarding 4 years, and the day before this horrible tragedy in our history, we're hearing that a great man, a person that I knew, is gone in such a brutal fashion. And the only thing that came to my mind was his children. The next thing came to my mind was his family. And the third thing that came to my mind was the terror for all the students and observers there on the ground that had to witness this brutal attack of one of our own. So yesterday we didn't have a lot of information. Today we're not going to get a whole lot of information, but we're getting some. So let's go ahead and get this read and get you guys up to snuff of where we are. So the weapon was found near Utah University campus, where the right-wing activist was fatally shot. And I'm tired of this right-wing activist stuff. Okay? He was a political activist. He was a conservative political activist. Hardly right-wing. When people hear right wing, they think of, like, what's the guy's name that likes the swastikas and marching down the British streets, whatever the name is of the guy. That's somebody that I would more incline to say is a right wing, activist. Charlie Kirk, if you want to talk about activism, he was a conservative and religious activist, hardly right-wing. I don't like the name right-wing. I don't like it. Okay? I really don't. I think it's reprehensible to describe him that way. Are we considered the right side of the aisle? Yeah. Okay? And we have an elephant, and they're the left side of the aisle with a jackass. Just saying. If it's disrespectful, I lost a friend. I shouldn't say a friend. It's not like we were on the phone talking to each other. But I can definitely say I lost a colleague, a fellow activist, somebody that I knew, somebody I highly respected, somebody I've had conversations with. That person. That's the person. I don't know if we would call each other, under today's terms, friends. But definitely somebody highly remarkable in my life, in my personal life. We'll leave it at that. The authorities said Thursday morning that they had new leads in the search for the person who shot prominent preemptive right-wing youth activist Charlie Crist. This is the kind of crap I talk. This right here has got to stop. Because you know what? Instead of saying the suspect, why don't you say a left-wing nut, right? Instead of the suspect, why don't we call him, or an extremist? Why don't we call him a left-wing nut or extremist? Why is he a suspect, but the guy, the victim, is a right-wing youth activist? You guys see the problems I'm having with our media? Do you see this? This is victim shaming. Okay? If you guys don't know what this shaming, and of course it's coming from who's the responsible party of this? The New York Times. Not surprising. Not surprising. Sickening. Investigators have other evidence that could help identify and track down the killer. Special agent in charge of the FBI's Salt Lake City field office says in a news conference that evidence includes a palm imprint and a forearm imprint and footwear impressions. This is going to be critical in this investigation. So if, in my opinion, if they have a palm print and they have a forearm imprint, they have some type of DNA. Today, our DNA technology is amazing. And I don't know if our black government, that's what I'm going to call them, black government, because it's the dark web, dark government, and we'll call them the dark government. Our dark government, can't cleanse the internet this well. Unless they, of course, have Bill Gates on the hook, which wouldn't surprise me in the least. Bill Gates, any type of program he designs, it needs to be immediately removed from government computers. He, in my opinion, Bill Gates is he's not an American for me, okay? He is more of a destructive authoritarian that wants world order and wants to own the world. That is Bill Gates. And I don't understand how we can have programs that he has invented running our government. We need to have an independent government. We need to have a government IT organization that creates its own government programming and stuff that even Bill Gates can't break into. That's what we need here in our country. We need to get away from Bill Gates. We need to get away from Zuckerberg. We need to get away from any type of third-party IT or AI, and the government needs to literally build itself. And you know what? With Elon Musk can help, right? Without being in charge and without having the final code at the end of it. We can do something to protect our country. We can do something to protect our country. But I definitely am begging and imploring our government to remove anything to do with Bill Gates or any type of programming. And if that's Windows, right? If that's Apple, that's Apple. I don't care what he owns or what he's doing. It should not be on a government computer anywhere in this country. He is a threat to our way of life and our government, along with George Soros. And I'm not going to stop speaking about it. So let's just get back. I need to quit with my opining and just read what's on here. I could go on for days. The suspect in the shooting appears to be college age, according to Bo Masson, a commissioner of the U.S. Department of Public Safety. I don't believe in the U.S. Department of Public Safety or Utah's Department of Public Safety. He may, from everything I saw, I don't know how they could even remotely identify this person as being, unless they've already got his DNA back, as being a college-age student, because everything I saw, you couldn't make out who this person was. You couldn't make out who this person was. Half of America don't vote in America. That's all we have to do. Yeah. Yeah. If everybody got up and voted, And I'm not saying vote like me. I'm saying vote with your conscience, right? That's all I'm asking everybody to do is vote with your conscience. Is this really the America you want? Because I can tell you, this is the America that's being peddled by the left, by the Democrat Party. This is what they want for America. They're okay with people being assassinated over their words, even though they're the party of peace and anti-guns. But they're perfectly fine on making pictures and other things. And if you guys don't believe me, this is not picking on the Democrat people. This is picking on your hierarchy that you are supporting. And I want you to understand that your next vote, I want you to make sure you understand exactly what you're voting for. And if mayhem and chaos and violence and murder are okay with you, then keep voting the way you're voting. But guess what? They're not going to be able to control it and say, what's your political card before I kill you, right? They don't do that. That a beautiful black girl was just unalived by an illegal alien and his roommate, which hasn't come. I don't think that's come out yet. It might be coming out if it hasn't already. His roommate's being looked at. And I can almost guarantee from her location, just by looking at the voting history in that location where they're from, the statistical lines, she most likely voted Democrat. And those Democrat policies just lost her life. Does it really need to be like that for the Democrat Party across this country when it starts knocking on your door? Because it is. All this chaos and mayhem are going on in your communities. They're not going on in mine. You know? I don't want to repeat that. This chaos and this crazy out there in this world, it's not going on in my backyard. It's going on in most of your backyards. So, something's got to give here, folks. But let me get off my soapbox. I know I'm getting back on it. I'm sorry. It's hard for me. You guys watch me coming in here upset. Let me go through this because I think everybody needs to be thanked. And I'm sorry I'm getting away from myself. Happy Thursday, Betty, Delilah, mods in chat. Love to all. The violence needs to stop. I don't know how some people have so much hate. I tell you what, my heart's been filled with hate over the last 24 hours. Pure hate. Pure hate. Pure hate. Melanie gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Hobo's Life gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership from Melody or Hobo's Life, please don't forget to tell those beautiful ladies thank you. And for the 2 beautiful new members of this coveted Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club gift, welcome to this crazy family, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. I hope the volume's up. I gotta tell you, it's busting my eardrums. I don't know how to turn it down. My ears. I'm scared to touch anything. Maybe I need to pull it out just a little bit. Just a wee little bit. Oh, good gracious. BAG, I'm sorry. I didn't know what had happened yesterday when I asked who he was and what happened. So much love to all and prayers. It's just, it's going to hit home for me because we're all activists, political activists. And granted, he just built an epic organization. An epic organization. It could literally be, it's to the point where, it could be any of us. When I hear Charlie and know that he talks to people, he debates people, it's all speech. It's all speech. And he lost his life for speech, and I just don't believe it. There's a bigger picture here. This was a hit on Trump. He was just the casualty. Nobody is going to be able to convince me otherwise. Nobody. Not until this person is literally brought. And Trump passed an order. If he's convicted, he's dead. There's no appeals. There's no nothing. There's an executive order. He's going to be taken out and taken care of immediately. It sounds like immediately. It is a executive order. I don't know. I've never dealt with an executive order like that before. I don't know, how. This it was immediate death and no possibility of pardon is the order. If whoever's convicted, it's immediate death and no possibility of parole. I don't know if that means he's going right out and getting taken care of, or if they're going to have the appeals process. I would think that if it's an American citizen, they're going to be afforded the rights of appeals and everything else, which sucks. We need to claim him as a terrorist or some type of terroristic crime. I think that might alleviate some of that appellate process, but I don't know. I'm a fish out of water in this type of law, and my brain's so foggy I wouldn't even know where to begin to the research on it. No more lies. Aw, thank you, Love Bug. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Aw, and no more lies gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership from No More Lies, don't forget to tell No More Lies thank you, and welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Thank you guys. Thank you for all of the love. There is a goal right now, and the goal is any nomination, but I'd like something for Charlie, because it's not about me. It's not about us. A father, son, a good man lost his life yesterday for this country. And it wasn't on the battlefield. It was right here on our land. And I'm sorry, I'm barbaric. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You know, if I could hang them up in a tree, you know, and start plucking the toenails and the fingernails, you know, I wouldn't bat an eye. You know, that's the ugly truth. I wouldn't bat an eye. You know, I mean, it's all just brain, you know, just wishful thinking, so to speak, but. You know, I'm vocalizing that. You know, that's my rage over all of this. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm angry. I'm vengeful. I'm hateful right now. That's awful. The suspects in this shooter appear to be college age, again, whatever. We are confident in our ability to track down the individual, he adds in a news conference, saying that the investigations have been able to spot the gunman in video footage taken yesterday. So we all saw this. If you haven't seen, I think I posted it here. I might have posted it on Facebook. I might have posted it on X. I'm unsure. I'm going to stay off X for a little bit just to give myself a break, because I'm telling you, it's sucking my willpower out of my brain. So this is where the gunman allegedly is in that square box, and it says it was about 430 feet away, which would be 100 yards, a little over 100 yards away, according to this, even though we were originally getting conversations that he was about 200 yards or, you know, 2 football fields away. I'm not sure if that's the case. Oh, thank you. Who was that? Aw, Phil. Thank you so much. Phil from across the pond. Thank you for let me give you a heart, and it's going to take you back off again. So let me put you back up again. I don't want to, every time you touch anything, it just pops off. Yeah, upset and angry. Yeah, you know, and it's put hate in my heart, like true hate in my heart. And I think that if I'm feeling that many people in my audience are feeling that as well, and we're gonna have to find a way through that. You know, that's our internal scar. That's our stuff. But is it going to stop me? No. Is it going to stop my friends? No. As a matter of fact, we're going to get louder. We're going to get more in your face. I mean, we're not violent people in any stretch of the imagination, but we're definitely a whole bunch of loud people. We know how to get attention. We've been doing it for years, and I don't see, you know, seeing all of these prayer vigils pop up all over this country, it truly shows you how impactful Charlie Kirk really was on our society as a whole. He made people think, you know. He was one of the best debaters that I've ever had an opportunity of witnessing. Officials have recovered the firearm that they believe was used in the shooting of Charlie Kirk, says Robert Bowles. He's the special agent in charge of the F.B.I. Salt Lake City's field office. He described in a news conference as a high-powered bolt-action rifle. The weapon was found in a wooded area, so we can anticipate that the person obviously fled through a wooded area. Was he seen in a car? Did he go to a car? You know, that's going to be something that we are going to have to discuss, and we'll be looking at the map here shortly and looking for some wooded area and seeing if there is an escape route that we might be able to also follow with a little bit of information that we are being provided. Good morning, Justin for all. It's nice to see you and everybody else that's in the chat right now. So we have, obviously, if it was found in a wooded area, he was going in a certain path. I think, you know, from an aerial view, when we kind of lock ourselves in on where the gun may have been, we'll have a good trajectory of which angle he was escaping from. The investigators have good video of this individual. This is all being reported in the last 2 hours. That's why I said it was breaking news, because we do have some good information and intel coming in here. Investigators have a good video of the individual, says Bo Mason, Utah Public Safety Chief. So remember, I don't really believe the local, I don't think that they always have the highest skill set as opposed to like the FBI and stuff. And that's just my bias. And I throw it out there. I don't mind acknowledging and standing on the hill with my bias. I do have a bias, as many independent journalists do have. Even regular mainstream media has their bias, but that's why they have board of directors to tone that rhetoric down and to amplify their rhetoric instead. But officials have not released it while they're working to identify the suspect through facial recognition software, which is becoming another integral part of law enforcement and their capabilities. If there are unsuccessful official plans to share his image publicly in an effort to identify him, the commissioner says. Now, Kayleigh McEnany had posted, I think it was Kayleigh, had posted a video that was sent to her, and she said something like she's not sure if this is legitimate or not, but it was from inside a building that other people were in, and you could kind of see them all looking at this person and in disbelief as this person walked through, and he had sunglasses on and something else. I think I took the picture. Let me see if I snagged the picture. I did not. Shit. I did not. Sorry, guys. There should be a Christian outcry. I agree. There is a Christian outcry. We're all outcrying. There's people running this just nonstop right now, and we're jumping on that bandwagon, not for clicks and views, but because this is hitting home for me. This is, if I can't fight for the people that I honor and respect, what am I doing here? So they plan on, if they can't capture him, they plan on releasing his image to the public. So we're maybe part of a manhunt really soon. After shooting Charlie Kirk, the gunman ran across the roof from where he had fired, jumped off the building, and fled Utah Valley University campus into the surrounding neighborhood, the Public Safety Commissioner says. So now we kind of have some movement. We're going to listen to this. Investigators have determined that the gunman who killed Charlie Kirk arrived at the university campus at exactly 11:52 a.m. About half an hour before the attack. The Utah Public Safety Commissioner says the police have since been able to track his movements onto the campus through the stairwells to a roof and to the shooting location. Let's go ahead and replay this.
Track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus. Shortly away from campus, we have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads.
So hard. Instead of honoring the victims of September 11 terrorist attack, as law enforcement usually does on this date, we find ourselves hunting a murderer, the commissioner of Utah Department of Safety says in a news conference. MSNBC has fired Matthew Dowd, a political analyst, for comments in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, according to the New York source. Dowd said on air that Kirk has been pushing hate speech, adding that hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, then lead to hateful actions. Dowd later apologized on social media, saying he did not intend to play. Fuck, you know what? All these people are responsible because they don't understand their language. He's talking about issues. He's attacking, let's be very clear. Charlie Kirk attacked issues, not the people. The issues. These people, these flippin' animals, attack the people, not the issues. When they can't attack the issues and they can't argue the issues with fact, they want to silence you in any way possible because you make them look like dirtbags, which all of them are at this point. Anybody that supports this nonsense, in my purview, is a dirtbag. Okay? And if that offends you, maybe you need to look inside yourself, because if you're not a dirtbag, then you don't support these policies. And you don't support people like Charlie Kirk being assassinated for words. Okay? So, if something I'm saying is offensive, you guys have a block button. Okay? I want to make sure that you understand you can use that block button. Okay? There's nothing that you need to be listening to that you don't want to listen to unless you choose to listen to it. So if you're here, you're choosing to listen to me speak to you. Okay? And I'm tired of being silent because somebody I know is dead now. And I keep wondering if my silence helped contribute to it, just like many others, because we're scared to ruffle the feathers of, say, our audience, right? So if you're that sensitive, it's time for you to start moving on from the Bullhorn Betty channel, because we're coming up to 2026 and 2028, and I can tell you my rhetoric, my language, how I feel, what I'm going to say is not going to be sanitized because of my audience. It may offend somebody in my audience. So I'm just, in all fairness, I never say anything. I always own what I say, and that is me respecting the other side of the aisle to tell you that that's what I plan on doing. So you can be the responsible adult that you are and leave if it offends you, so we don't have problems, right? Because you're here for true crime typically. Unfortunately, this true crime is knocking on our door, and this true crime is hitting close to home for me. And that's just kind of where I'm going to stand on this subject. Okay? So hopefully everybody can get behind it, but if you can't, you know, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. And I pray to God that you're not one of the people holding the gun the next time. That's all I got to say. The Utah Department of Public Safety and the FBI have scheduled a news conference for 7 a.m. Ooh, we have a news conference. Let's see if we can find the news conference. Okay, I do not see a news conference. Holds a news conference right here. Is this from yesterday or is this from today? Okay. I guess this is from today. We're going to watch the whole thing.
Ever wondered about the science behind? We eliminate the guesswork.
Okay, is everybody ready for that spelling? FBI speaker is Special Agent in Charge, Robert Bowles, R-O-B-E-R-T, last name B-O-H-L-S. And then for the Utah Department of Public Safety, we have Commissioner Bo Mason, B-E-A-U, last name M-A-S-O-N. Anyone need me to repeat that? One more time. Robert Bowles, R-O-B-E-R-T, Bowles, B-O-H-L-S, and then Bo Mason, B-E-A-U, Mason, M-A-S-O-N.
Okay, we're going to split this. We don't need all that. We'll go back and get all that.
Good morning. I'm Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. I'd be remiss if we didn't start off today and recognize the significance of the day. Historically, on 9/11, law enforcement has come together as a group to recognize and honor those that sacrificed to preserve the ideals of this country, the freedoms of this country. And instead, we find ourselves today hunting a murderer who chose to violate our rights, the rights of an individual within this country. Just to recap yesterday's events, at around 12:20 p.m., political influencer Charlie Kirk was at Utah Valley University participating in a student-sponsored event with Turning Point USA. Charlie was shot at that event. He was transported to a local hospital where he later passed. Last night, his body was moved to the state office of the medical examiner. We will continue to facilitate movements to get him home today and with his family. Yesterday, during the investigative process, we located a couple of persons of interest. We interviewed those individuals, and after releasing them and after clearing them of being suspects, they faced scrutiny. They faced threats. We asked the public to be patient with the investigative process. These individuals were not suspects. They were people of interest. We ask that you do not impose into those people and that investigative process. They don't deserve that harassment for being subject to that.
They've been cleared,
all
folks.
the investigators that are involved in this. They have worked around the clock. All day yesterday, through the night last night, investigators from the State Bureau of Investigations, from county, from city agencies, the university, our federal partners with the F.B.I., the ATF, and many others. Those are just a few of the people that we have involved in this. I'd like to thank all of them for their strong work. Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately.
So what he's basically saying is that the people that were, and I still, I'm still not thinking that, I still think that there were some decoys. Like, there's some things that I'm seeing in that video, those videos. I'm really not sure what I'm seeing. I am seeing a lot of movement coming from two individuals directly behind Charlie Kirk. And the photos, the videos that are coming out are slowed down. And I can't tell, are those, when you slow things down, sometimes, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to focus in to show people what you're seeing. But sometimes slowing something down can take an innocent, rub of the nose. Like, you can see somebody going like this. And because they slowed it down, it kind of looks like, and it's not, so I worry about the slowed down videos that I'm seeing. Am I seeing what I'm seeing? The guy in the white hat, he would have been in the view of the sniper. The guy in the black would have been in view of the sniper. The guy in the black appeared to be, because I looked around, in the security team that Charlie Kirk had, appeared to be wearing black. So I keep thinking that the guys that were standing behind him were actually employed by him. or by the security firm he uses. Now, that might be somebody that they have to look into, but again, it could be just, normal. I mean, when you're at those events and you're standing, you gotta kind of move around. And I've seen all those types of movements in the past. Do they necessarily mean that they were part of it? And how did they get so close to Charlie? And if they were that close to Charlie, why did they need a sniper? I always ask those types of questions. And when I start saying, this doesn't make sense, obviously I'm thinking that, there might be more to it. Those people also may be innocent people, and it just might look suspicious when slowed down. So please keep all of that in mind. I don't know what happened. I'm not acting like I know what happened. I feel like I know who's responsible for this, who paid for all of this, who put all of this in place. But that doesn't, just because it's my belief, doesn't equate to fact. And we know that all too much here on True Crime. Right? Our theories, our thoughts don't equal fact. But I'll never, until somebody can prove to me, I'll never stop believing that Obama, Hillary, John and George aren't behind this. They wanted to hurt. They wanted to hurt, and I mean hurt, Donald Trump, and they can't get to him. Understand that. They cannot get to Donald Trump. He is protected with our U.S. military. However, his protege is not.
Last night I communicated with Erica. The family's devastated. As a commissioner of public safety, as a father, as a husband, I can only imagine what that family's going through. The heinous event that happened yesterday is not Utah. This is not what we're known for. Over the past several weeks, we've seen this state come together to help families in mourning.
Yeah, he's one of them. I thought I saw about
what
3.
Utah is known for.
Potentially.
For a state of character, of service, of camaraderie, of a neighboring feel. We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this, every investigator, every local agency. The outpouring of support from the law enforcement community has been astounding. We are investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual.
I hope so.
Having walked through the crime scene, through the hallways of this school, through the classrooms, I can't imagine what the people on scene felt as well. A horrific event where some of them barricaded in classrooms, some of them ran in fear. Can't overstate the tragedy and the horrific event that yesterday was, and how we will work to bring to justice the actions of one individual or any other individuals that assisted in that. Our state has gone through a lot, and we will come out successful. With that, I'll turn the time over to Special Agent Bowles in charge.
Before we get into Bowles' commentary, I'm out of I brought my coffee in here. We can keep going. I thought I was going to have to get up and go to the kitchen, but I forgot. My head's foggy, guys. I mean, I'm not doing well today. I will be honest with you. I wasn't doing well yesterday. You know what was really weird? This is what's really weird. Yesterday, remember when I came on here? My first live? I told you guys I was not in a good mood yesterday. I was not in a good mood all day yesterday. I didn't have spidey senses or anything like that something major was going to go on. I was just in a piss poor mood yesterday. And it was like I was kind of mopey, and because I got a lot on my plate. I've got some deadlines that are due that I've kind of been procrastinating. My mom's, she had her surgery. I was at my mom's for, 5-6 days. And I come back here, the lawn, I couldn't mow the lawn. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. And finally got out there. It just had a whole lot of stuff that needed to be done around the house for me being gone for, 5-6 days. And it was just, I don't know. I was hungry. There wasn't food in the house because I ate all the food before I went to my mom's, and I bought food at my mom's to take care of them for the week. And long story longer is I was just in a piss poor mood, and I'm laying in bed, death scrolling on X, and all this stuff for Charlie happened, and I'm just coming live, and I couldn't get this program to get up fast enough, so I go over to freaking StreamYard, which I hate, and I just started pushing it through there, and then it was like, after that, I was so upset. I just laid in bed. I was just in bed. All of my friends are, devastated. It's bad. All right, let's get back to the press conference. I've got coffee.
Good morning. My name is Robert Bowles, and I am the special agent in charge of the Salt.
And I want to say this out loud. You know what? There's a reason why I will never vote for DeSantis again. Okay? If Byron Donalds was in office, our flags would be at half-mast. I reached out to my county commissioners yesterday and told them we needed to put the flags to half-mast, and they said they can't do that without the order of DeSantis. So I said, okay, I'm going to start working on that now. And, I'm reaching out. I started calling DeSantis's office at like 5 o'clock this morning and leaving messages on every single phone number I have for the office, for secretaries, for everybody, and basically saying, like, what's the deal? We have Oklahoma that already lowered their flags, and they lowered their flags before the United States lowered their flags. So I'm kind of a little butthurt all the way around. Trust me, my rage is not just to the left. It's to everybody that's dragging their ass, because he deserves to be honored. He deserves, in all fairness, he gave his life for America. He gave his life for America. And I would say that if it was a Democrat, I don't believe in this type of stuff. I don't care who was there. It could have been Hillary Clinton. You guys know the love I've got for Hillary Clinton. Okay? This is not okay. At this point, however, told you about that hate in my heart. After this, I really could care less at this point. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get censored. A true bright light was dimmed yesterday. Many prayers for the Kirk family, yes. And you know what? We're thinking of his children and his wife, and and of course they're very important, but his mom is very important too, and so is his father. His mother gave birth to that beautiful boy 31 years before his death. And I can't imagine how that mother must feel right now, knowing that these monsters took her baby. These monsters. And if people aren't appalled by the comments of J.B. Pritzker and Elizabeth Warren, there's something wrong with you. Those people are not right. They're not human. I don't know what they are, but they're not human. And you guys are supporting soulless people. Truly soulless people. They have no conscience. Their only focus is power and money. And they use all of their people as pawns. And I'm sorry that you guys cannot see what they're doing to you. But they are destroying your lives. They are screwing with your head. They have gotten into your head so deeply that you hate and clap when another human being loses their life. If that had been one of their people, we would all be crying. We would not be cheering. That's the difference between evil and good. Do you understand that? So every time you go to the vote, your ballot, and you put evil in place of good, that's your contribution to this. That's your contribution to this. I've always been on the right side of history, and I will continue to always be on the right side of history. And it's not because I go with the wind, okay? It's because I stand on my convictions. I know what I want, and I know what is best for me. And when I know what's best for me, I know what's best for a lot of other people, because I consider myself an average person. And there's a lot of average people out there on both sides of the aisle. Just saying. Okay, let's get to his comments.
Salt Lake Field Office. Following yesterday's tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk, FBI agents have been working around the clock in coordination with our law enforcement partners. We are and will continue to work nonstop until we find the person that has committed this heinous crime and find out why they did it. This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis. Now, I understand there are a lot of questions about motive. I assure you that all leads, tips are being fully investigated. As of this morning, we have received more than 130 tips. We thank the community for that. The FBI has brought every resource to bear, and we will continue to do so throughout the course of this investigation. The FBI's mission is to protect the American people.
Thank you, days away.
It's to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Any attack on the First Amendment is an attack on the very foundation of our democracy. That is why we will relentlessly pursue this case and the shooter until we find him. We also continue to grieve with the family and the community. It's our community.
What happened? Okay, it looks like we lost some audio. It must come back. We still got like 3 more minutes of this. We lost audio.
And the community. However,
okay.
That's a question, and it's a question that goes to the safety of the community, right? No, not in those woods. We walked through those woods and secured it. As to the community, I can tell you that this was a targeted event. We don't believe that the community is at risk. However, we're exhausting every resource to find him, and we will do so.
Mr. Holmes, you say that you've got... The BBC, from the images you have, can you see clearly the suspect's face? You say he's college age, you believe he was from this university, and how far do you think he may have gone in this time span?
So I can't comment specifically on his face or any details such as that, as it's continuing to be a part of the investigation, and again, we'll release that shortly. However, we're doing everything we can to find him, and we're not sure how far he has gone yet.
And you do believe it's a male?
Is there an image of his face?
We have images of the suspect.
So between those images...
Okay. Well, that might be another theory. Bullhorn Betty got wrong. I said there was no possibility of this child being, or this shooter being a student at that school. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. Still, as he's nodding his head, he never confirmed that they believe he's a student from the school, but when the person was saying something about a school-age student and going to school, he was nodding his head yes. He did not correct the reporter. He did not correct the reporter, y'all. He did not correct the reporter. Let's listen to this again.
So I can't comment specifically on his face or any details.
Oh, no, let's go back.
No, not...
Oh, sorry. The camera. So they blocked out something that was said. I don't know if that was not meant for consumption or not. But the microphone comes back on right here.
Question, and it's a question that goes to the safety of the community, right? No, not in those woods. We walked through those woods and secured it. As to the community, I can tell you that this was a targeted event. We don't believe that the community is at risk. However, we're exhausting every resource to find him, and we will do so.
Mr. Holmes, you say that you've got... The BBC, from the images you have, can you see clearly the suspect's face?
So they got the suspect's face. They know who he is. Or maybe not know specifically who he is, but...
So I can't comment specifically on his face or any details such as that, as it's continuing to be a part of the investigation, and again, we'll...
Let's listen to that again. Hold on.
However, as it's... can't comment...
Suspect's face. How far do you think he may have gone in this time span?
So I can't comment...
Okay, so they have... She hasn't made the statement yet.
Any details such as that, as it's continuing to be a part of the investigation, and again, we'll release that shortly. However, we're doing everything we can to find him, and we're not sure how far he's gone yet.
And you do believe
But
it's
you
male?
have your image of his face?
We have images of the suspect.
So between those images and the gun that you've been able to recover, do you believe you know who this person is, the person that you're looking for at this point?
Again, as part of the investigation, we're not releasing any details such that.
Any fingerprints or DNA?
Okay, well,
We are
I could have
exhausting
sworn
all
I
of our
heard her
resources
say
to
college-age
collect
student from the school, and I know it was that lady's voice, so I must have missed it. Either way, he didn't correct her on saying that the potential a student at the school. But I also know that some of these operatives are made to look younger to blend in. So it's going to be hard. I mean, they're going to have to find the guy, because I just don't believe it's a student at that school. Maybe I don't want to believe it's a student at that school. But if it is a student at that school, you know who's responsible? Everybody.
And the gun that you've been able to recover, do you believe you know who this person is, the person that you're looking for at this point?
Again, as part of the investigation, we're not releasing any details such that.
Any fingerprints or DNA?
We are exhausting all of our resources to be able to.
Now we got a lot of people in here that it's from all different backgrounds. Would it be safe to say if they have a palm print and an upper arm print that they would have DNA? I mean, I'd have to think that that person was sitting up there. The energy was probably pumping. They were probably sweating in all of that black crap that they were wearing. The person was in all black. I mean, all black. I heard reports early on that somebody was in jeans and a black shirt and stuff like that. The person I seen was all black. There was no jeans. Omar was posting beforehand that a student there and that something big was going to go down. I saw that. We had that post within, I don't know, 2 or 5 minutes already in the back chats. We knew about this, and I know that Secret Service knows about that post. I don't know if they've interviewed that I have to assume that they've located that person and interviewed them to find out what they knew. So does this school have an ROTC or some type of military type of training there, or do they have like different programs that are like crossbow programs or anything like that? I mean, this is in Utah, folks. So you're talking about, and this is probably an assessment that I didn't, because my head was so foggy yesterday, and even up until this point, not thinking about this. But this is Utah. Like, Utah's big with firearms. Because they live out in desolate areas. They all need to have some type of long gun, because they could, you could be mauled by a bear, all kinds of crap in Utah, and it's really just orange dirt everywhere, clay, if you will. They got DNA from the towel. Was there a towel? I didn't hear anything about a towel. I lost my mate when our boys were 5 and 7, extremely hard. Oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. I think a group, maybe Antifa type, that are usually paid disruptors. That's possible. It's hard to believe a university has such evil kids that attend. And why would evil kids want to attend there if they're not espousing the crap that screws these kids up? The education, I've been telling you guys, that's why so many people pulled their children from public education. It put them and their families in a tight spot, because now one of the parents have to now take off work to teach their children, because they don't trust the schools to teach their children, because their children have been turning our students into murderers. That's what our schools have done. Our schools are pumping out murderers. There is a YouTube promoting hate. His followers went on a man's wife obits to post hateful, threatening comments. This man was married 62 years to this lady. This needs to stop. That's just ugly. That's just ugly. You know what? I'm one of those people that if I find out who you are, I throw you on social media. I'll just put on there, social media, do your thing, because social media is a brutal stomping grounds. I've had to deal with it. I know the threat of social media. I've dealt with it for 4 years being on this platform. I know what these animals have done to me, and this is just for true crime, not even my political stuff, which I believe a lot of it was because of my prior political stuff. My current political stuff, I shouldn't say prior, but I've never changed my stance. I've never changed the work I do. I get a little more frustrated and just don't have the time to put up with the crap from my politicians, so I go over them, around them, or under them. I find I'm more effective being behind the scenes, getting shit done here, than I am being in their face screaming at my politicians that don't make decisions. I go to the U.S. senators, I go to the congressmen, I go up the food chain. I mean, I've been around the politics long enough, been to all these places, met all these people. Like, I just make phone calls now and see who needs to be contacted to get the ball rolling in this arena, who needs to be contacted to get the ball rolling in that arena. And I start doing that kind of stuff, and then I start, applying pressure by a multitude of ways to get this stuff done. And sometimes that's emails. Sometimes I'm blowing up their phones, aggravating the piss out of them. Sometimes I'm sending them emails. Sometimes I'm asking for public record requests. Sometimes I'm just being all around just a pain in the ever-loving ass, so much so that they just want to get me gone, right? That's my solution. Get me gone. This is what I need, right? And I hold people accountable. So at this point, it's like the work that I do, I feel like I'm better suited behind the scenes working than sitting at my county commissioner that can only affect stuff going on in my little tiny, four corners here in Manatee, Do I still go there? I'm going to end up making an appearance there on Tuesday to speak about Charlie and the political violence in our country that I will be doing on future agenda items. I'm going to be calling for a Charlie Day. I don't know if I'll be successful, but I am going to be working my ass off to do something here in my community to honor Charlie Kirk. Just don't know what. Let's listen.
Collect those, but that's, again, part of the investigation.
And how did the suspect get on the roof?
Excuse me?
You said you found the weapon. Have you been able to trace that?
Oh, maybe it hasn't gotten to it yet, because that's her voice again.
We are working on that, but again, part of the investigation.
Agent Wallace has been a lot of turnover at the FBI. Do you think that's impacting the investigation at all?
Not at all. We've got complete and total support from everyone from the director on down, and it's been an incredible supportive environment so far.
Our tweets like the one yesterday.
Well, you guys have to remember, okay, Dan Bongino had been, up until he was hired as the director of the FBI, he had been at every single one of Charlie Kirk's events. He was a regular at Charlie Kirk's event. They had a very good bond. Charlie Kirk knew a lot of people, okay? And a lot of people were friends with him. You don't make the kind of events that Charlie Kirk has without knowing significant amounts of people, okay? And these are the biggest of the big in the conservative political arm of our country. This is president. This is his family. This is people like Dan Bongino, Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon. There's not been one SAS that Steve hasn't been to. Steve travels with his daughter. I have a good relationship with his daughter. I still have her card, because we were doing the Front Row Joe's documentary, and when we were up in DC, I came across, Scott, one of the Front Row Joes was in, he was sitting with Steve and talking to him about some of the stuff he's been doing in Virginia. And so I pulled his daughter aside and I said, we're working on this documentary and for the Front Row Joes, and we want Steve in it. And so I ended up going and grabbing one of the producers, and they worked it out where if you watch the Front Row Joe's documentary, that Steve Bannon's in it. And Steve Bannon's in it because Bullhorn Betty wouldn't talk to his daughter And we wanted him in the documentary, and he graciously came on the documentary. If you want to know who produced that documentary, it was Sean Spicer. Sean Spicer is the one that produced the Front Row Joe's documentary. Just to let you know. And I ended up doing a flag waving and got the people down in Mar-a-Lago. And guess who pulls up and decides to hang out with us for a photo shoot? Of course, Sean Spicer, right? So, like I said, there's, you know, the life I lived before I came here for true crime was amazing. It was epic. And I'm very honored to have met these people. I'm very honored to have the same drumbeat as these people. And it is very, very heartbreaking that Charlie's gone. And he was a MAGA voice for our mission, for our personal mission. He was a major conservative voice.
All I can say is that we're working the investigation the best we have with the environment we're given.
Those are all the questions for right now. Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys. That's it. So we have a gun. Let's recap what we now know as true. We have a gun. I heard that there was a spent bullet. The spent bullet was still in the gun. I heard on the rooftop there were some scattered. Now this is just what I'm hearing. I can't confirm or deny any of this being true. But I can say that it sounds like there were some non-spent shells at the scene. I don't know how true it is. It might be rumors having it. But we're also learning that there may have been some, possibly, and it could be to throw off the scent. But we also know how violent the trans community has been, and I'm not going to sit here and hide that or you know, tone it down or anything like that. I have trans friends. They don't act like that, and they acknowledge that there is a violence within their community. So we're going to leave it at that. But I'm not going to, like I said, the point where Bullhorn Betty cares about people's feelings in this chat about certain topics. If you don't like the topics we're discussing, by all means, please leave. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but if it does hurt your feelings, please leave. You know, just leave and come back tomorrow. But at the end of the day, there were some, from what I hear, on some of those bullets, much like that Mangione guy that unalived the university person, right? The person that unalived the university guy. He wrote things on his bullets, and I'm hearing the same type of thing was written on these bullets, and that they were more trans-focused conversations. Again, I don't want to spread misinformation. I heard it on a back channel. It doesn't mean that it's true, but it is something that I'm interested in finding out whether is true or not, because this kind of goes in complete conflict of my assessment of who is responsible for this. Actually, as a matter of fact, everything that was literally said in that press conference kind of goes against most of my assessments of this case. I'm sorry, they're just going to have to convince me that this was a student from that school. I'm not prepared to say it is. Not yet. Not yet. And it may be my own bias because I feel the way I feel. So the manhunt for the killer of Charlie Kirk continues after conservative political activists. Thank you, Wall Street Journal. Thank you. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? An author was shot on stage during an event at Utah Valley University. President Trump said radical left rhetoric contributed to Kirk's death and called him a martyr for the truth and freedom. Federal investigators said they have recovered high-powered rifle from a wooded area where the shooter had fled and have been able to track the movements of the suspect shooter before and after the shooting. So let's go ahead. Let's start looking at some maps here. Okay. We gotta fix the thing. I think I need to start setting up like new, instead of trying to use the same. I think my issue would be much better. Okay, so let's look at the map. I'm gonna have to go on the other side so I can look at the map and figure out where to put you guys. Oops. Okay, so that's it right there. All right, let me look at the map. Okay. We have the courtyard. Let's go back to this one. This one gave us the clearest image of the area. Okay. So we're going to look at it like here. Okay, so it looks like we're over here. All right. So we kind of got that. Let's see. So we need to turn it this. I can't turn my map, can I? Shoot, hold on, I'm about to dump my coffee in my lap. Let's see if I can turn it. It won't let me turn the map. It won't let me turn the map. So here's the courtyard. Let me find the building now that we got it like this. I think the building is this gray building here. I want to get as much accuracy as possible. So here is the arena. There's the weird shaped. And so we have the gray area and the gray building over here. So let's find the gray building. So it looks like it's this one right here. Nope, this one right here. Is that right? There's the big gray building. This one is almost in front of the diamond. In front of the diamond. So we have the diamond. So this is the one in front of the diamond. So here we go. All right. So here we go. We know where the mark is. Let me go ahead and mark this up. Put a pin. All right. We'll put it right there because that's where we believe the shooter was, right there on the corner of the building. Save project. Okay, and this is going to be Charlie Kirk. Sorry, guys, I can't see what you guys are looking at just yet. Oh, no, this is the shooter. Oh, let me change that. All right, so there it is. Are you guys seeing that? Okay, so there's the shooter. We know that Charlie was here. And now they're saying that that the person ran into the woods. So let's go ahead and reduce this. Let's make it a map. Okay. Let's see if this will show me my greenery. It does not show me my greenery, but it does show me something. Ooh. All right, we're going back to the satellite. All right. So we know he was here, and they said he went through a wooded area. Do you guys see this? There is no wooded area until you get right here. So that means he had to come out of a stairwell. He most likely went this way and probably cut through this tree-lined area, either this way or this way. But it looks like he may have either, one, lived in this area, or he had his vehicle parked. We have multiple cul-de-sacs. We have multiple areas here that could be, but there's not a whole lot of woods. There's not a whole lot of woods anywhere. So I think this area here is the only area he could have been in to drop the gun. And it's right before they get to a residential community. All right, let me go back. I wasn't reading your comments. Let me go back and then we'll go up. 2 minutes top before he bled out. That's why no ambulance. Yeah. There's a picture right now of a person caught on pick running. I think that might have been what I saw this morning, but I don't know if that was accurate. Let me pull this down real quick so I can look at my emails and see if I've gotten anything new in the emails. Thank you, Diane. Thank you all for the people. I see all of you guys writing me and sending me love and hugs. I really do appreciate it. Just the only thing I ask is that you say a prayer for the family and say a prayer for our country. And everybody get out and vote in 2026. Please get out and vote. Show your face, get out and vote. Be honored to vote. Put that vote down, even if you don't believe in the same values I believe in it. Do it for Charlie. Do it for the victims of this political persecution. Go and be honored to put your name and your poll on that ballot. You know, who you want in charge and why. I mean, that's what everybody can do. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. You guys know how I'm voting, but I'm not going to tell you guys how to vote. I'm just going to ask you very simply, vote with your conscience. If you're tired of this country, the last 10 years of this country and how it has been, and so does Vices, and you guys know where the rhetoric is coming from. We're not asking people to go out and hurt people. They are. You've heard it time and time again. We're the party of genocide. What is that telling people? You're telling people that, one, we're the enemy, and two, we want to kill them. That is what that rhetoric is telling their people. When have we ever said that the Democrats, even though they are the party of genocide, white conservative genocide, when do we say that? You heard it out of my mouth the first time probably in the last 24 hours. But it's something I truly now believe. They are trying to get rid of people like me. I am absolutely convinced of it. Thank you, Melanie. Bless you. Big black backpack dressed up. Okay, let me get over to my my stuff. All right. Where do I go when I need information? And I need information now. Charlie Kirk, shooter. Okay, let's see what we got. I saw something come in on my phone. I saw something come in on my phone. What is it? Okay, we got something. Okay. All right, maybe we got something here. Okay, let's see what this is. So this person over here, I know you guys can barely see him. We're going to get a little bit of a better picture. But there is somebody in black running. And let me see if I can blow it up.
Somebody's shooting over here. Hell of people running. There he is, right there. That guy. He's the guy.
He looks older.
Somebody's shooting over here. Hell of people running. There he is, right there. That guy.
black shoes, shorts. That's not the person I saw. That's not the person I saw. But he's stripping down. He is. I bet you, because he's running for his life. He's taking the jacket off. He's taking his jacket off as we speak right here. That's him trying to get his jacket ripped off. I can't tell whether he's white or darker skin. It looks like he's got a ponytail, and it looks like he's older.
This is the guy.
Because right here, it almost looks like he's bald here, and he's got a ponytail. He doesn't look like a college-age student to me. White with a beard. Looks like a beard. Yeah. News is showing shooter's face now. Where? Can somebody send me the link? Let me pull this back. Give me a second. Let me do a Google. Charlie Kirk. I'm not seeing anything. Can somebody tell me where it's at, or send it to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com? It looks like he has a fake leg. Huh. I didn't see that. No, it's just the way he's running. He's running. He looks like an older... You know what? He does look like a punk, though. He doesn't look... But, you know, military people come in... Oh, you guys can't see it. All shapes and sizes, you know?
Somebody's shooting over here. Hell of people running. There he is, right there. That guy.
He looks white.
He's the guy.
He's taken off his jacket. He's running. He's running as he's stripping his jacket away. I absolutely believe that would be most likely the shooter. I don't think he looks college age at all. He looks like he's balding with a ponytail. He looks like your classic... This might be something. Let me pull this back so you guys aren't seeing the blurry version. Hold on a second. Let me get this moved back. Let me find it first. I want you guys to watch it. Like, there we go. I think that's everything. You guys can see it clearer. Let's try.
Somebody's shooting over here.
Oh, let me take this.
Hell of people running. There he is, right there. That guy. He's the guy.
All right, let's pull this and let me see if I can do some more digging. If they're releasing some photos, I don't know. He looks older. He looks a lot older. I could be wrong, but it looked... yeah, he looked about... Yeah, that, I would say that. He didn't look, you know... But look at this one. Identified. Look at this. That does not look like a college-age student. That looks like an older person that's shaved their face. This is who they're identifying. Oh, you guys can't see it. There it is. They're saying this is what's being identified by FBI. Let's see what it says here. It says, Charlie Kirk shooter identified by the FBI. Look at this. All black. I don't know. That didn't look, I mean, I guess maybe we had a wrong angle somewhere. But, wow. There he is. There he is. That does not look. That's what I'm saying. I think there was some decoys. I think there were some lookouts. I think there was some decoys. They were running. But one person was ripping off their jacket. That's not normal. So the information about him being in blue jeans is accurate. He was in white sneakers, but this does not look like a college-age student to me. I don't know what I'm missing, but that looks like a much older person that has shaved their face. I'm not sure that animal, Omar allegedly was shaven and had long hair, could pull into a ponytail. Maybe that's what it is, because I'm telling you, that ponytail, I'd like them to identify. Let's just keep going now that we got this. Okay. Let's just refresh. Okay. They've identified him, guys. We need to start getting to work. The person responsible has now been, at least they are taking this seriously. This is the person that they believe is the gunman. If you guys know who this person is, we're asking. Cash, they will get him. Yes, they are asking for you to find him. I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't care if I get knocked for this. I want the death penalty for this guy. Donald Trump has already called for the death penalty for this case, whoever is responsible. If he is found to be the person, I don't want him living among us. Anybody that's responsible or has incited this man to do what he did, I also want to be held accountable. I want to know who he spoke to, who he's talking to, who knew about this, who failed to report. I want them taken into custody as well. This was domestic terrorism. This needs to be stated as such. This doesn't need to be shoveled under the rug, and I'm thankful for this particular presidency, because at least for the first time we will probably, one, have full transparency on a situation like this, but also see the reality of the capture. I hope this guy pays for what he did. Charlie was a good man, and this man doesn't deserve to breathe the air if he is responsible. Trump is speaking now. I don't see anything live unless he's speaking before somebody else. Can somebody... Somebody has these things, please send them to me. I don't see, where's he speaking at? Can somebody tell me where Trump is speaking? Robin, can you send me an email? Oh, maybe I should take this before I get it. There we go. I keep forgetting. That's what I don't like having happen. Can somebody send me the link? I can't find the president speaking. I got Right Side Broadcasting, but I don't know. This is 9/11 stuff. Let me see. All right. Well, I guess we're not going to be able to see it. If somebody finds where President Trump is speaking, if you guys could please send it to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, I would greatly appreciate it. Sniper, yes. has perched for something about him sitting on the roof, setting up, took me back to the military. Yes. That's why I'm having a whole problem with this whole situation being a college-age student. I do not believe it. And you guys know, I don't care who says it. If I don't believe it, I don't believe it. I ain't believing it. Cheyenne stated it in here. Oh, Cheyenne, can you send me that? I don't know where it is. Like, I feel like it's on a news organization somewhere, but I don't know where. Trump speaks on Charlie Kirk. We do have this, but this was from 14 hours ago. We will see this.
Anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory, may God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
he deserves the Medal of Freedom if he's getting the Medal of Freedom. So here is, let me see if I can get Trump on here. There he is. Pete Hegseth. And again, we all knew these people long before they are who they are today. You know? These people are good men and women that are part of this, part of what we're doing here.
Give me hope. Sheer courage, no matter the arena. Charlie, we love you. We know that you have heard the Lord's words. Well done, good and faithful servant. Full heart, clear eyes. Like those on 9/11, he will never be forgotten. So I thank God for all of you and all of our fighters from that day to today and beyond. May God bless our warriors as they ruthlessly seek our enemies on behalf of the fellow citizens they love. We owe you and all of those who witnessed 9/11 nothing less. It is now my great honor to introduce to you our Commander-in-Chief, President Donald J. Trump.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk have felt. Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people. Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Eric, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big. Thank you, my fellow Americans. 84 years ago this morning, the banks of the Potomac were filled with the clamor of construction workers who broke ground on the building now known as the Pentagon on September 11th, 1941. At the time, it was the biggest building ever built. From that moment forward, this structure stood as a monument to American strength, power, and cherished American freedom. Exactly 6 decades later, on September 11th, 2001, those same walls, built with the sweat and muscle, blood of our parents and grandparents, were scarred by flame and shaken by terror as our country came face to face with pure evil. On that fateful day, savage monsters attacked the very symbols of our civilization. Yet here in Virginia and in New York and in the skies over Pennsylvania, Americans did not hesitate. They stood on their feet and they showed the world that we will never yield, we will never bend, we will never give up, and our great American flag will never, ever fail.
And that is going to be the message for today, as it was 24 years ago. 24 years ago. All right, hold on. I've got to pull this off, otherwise I have a habit of doxing crap. Oh, wrong one. I know where you're at. It's a tough day. Tough day. Okay. kind of lagging, so just bear with me. I think everybody's updating new information. Like everything's lagging. Okay. We got some other photos. Maybe? I don't know. He's starting to look a little younger now. Hold on. Let me pull this up. There we go. Starting to look a little like this photo here. Somebody knows who this is. Somebody knows who this child is. It's starting to look a little younger. So parents, which one of you effed up parents has an effed up son that wants to unalive people? Don't tell me this ain't your boy. Some mommy and daddy out there knows exactly who this is. Mommy and daddy, I would be scared. You know what? As a matter of fact, mommy and daddy, he still looks older than, I don't know. Antifa are disgusting, vile people. They don't look this clean cut. I'm sorry. I don't know if you've seen your local Antifa, but they're slobs. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Somebody knows who this is. This is an American. Some mommy and daddy out there are about to see their son up on the screen, and I'm going to give a message to this man's family. And trust me when I say this. I would turn him in because you don't want one of us getting a hold of him. I can tell you his life is in danger. I'm not saying that from my perspective. I'm saying that I know people. And for the mommy and daddy that has this child, it would do you some good to call your own child in if you don't want to be dealing with what Charlie Kirk's parents are dealing with. I know people. And if one of our MAGA people find this man, your fate might be sealed as well. My suggestion to the families of this man is you better come forward. If you care for him. I mean, if you don't care for him and you want him to die a martyr, by all means, keep your mouth shut. But if you don't want to be burying your child in the ground, I would suggest you reach out to law enforcement immediately. Immediately. Because this is a beehive that nobody's going to be able to fix. This is the can of worms nobody's going to be able to fix. Except this person here. So he looks much older here, in my opinion. But over here, he still doesn't look... I'm still not convinced he's a college-aged student. I'm just not convinced. And look at that. He's wearing a American flag, and it looks like what to be an American eagle. Does it... Yep. Does anybody know where this came from, or is this a patch? Mid to 20s? I don't know. I think he's like 30. I'm not good with this stuff, though. I will be honest with you. I'm not good. Let me pull this down because I got to look and see if there's anything else. If there's anything else. Hold on a second. That's it. Let me see this. Antifa. We're hearing... Hold on. My mouse likes to play little games with me. So it says the state's highest court will be reportedly hear arguments in the Adam Montgomery request for a new trial. I hope he doesn't get a new trial. We've got the armed assassin on there. This guy doesn't look like he has a ponytail. Unless, I do know people, like even Seth, he has long hair, but he pulls it up and puts it in his hat sometime. I wonder if that's what it is, because I'm telling you, I looked at what seemed to be a ponytail from the person. Wait a minute, the person running could not have been this guy. The person that we're identifying, because look at this, the person that was running, ripping off his jacket, was was in shorts, jean shorts, and a lot fatter. I don't know. I don't know. Let me look at that video again. Let me get that video pulled up. We'll have to look at a couple things here. We're going to have to look at a couple things here. Hold on a second. Let me get you guys back up now that I got this stuff plugged. So we have the shooter, or what they allege is a shooter, right there, running. Somebody's running, and then this one person in black is running right there. He's got shorts on. This person has shorts on and dark shoes. Okay. So based on what we're seeing here is this person has long jeans on and white shoes. So actually the rumors that I heard that I said, you know, I'm not sure, because there was another photo I saw of a man all in black. He would never had time to change clothes. Nope, that's not a possibility. That's not a possibility. Not the way I'm looking. There's no possibility. Because by the time the hit was made, everybody was running. He had to run too. He had zero time to change clothes. Yeah, there's a lot of nuts out there. Charlie Kirk to be rewarded of the Medal of Freedom. I'm going to be there. I don't know where it's going to be, but wherever it's going to be, I will be there. I will be wherever this is at. They're going to be naming the date. I don't even care if it's in the state of Washington. If it takes me a week to get there, I'll leave a week ahead of schedule to make sure I can get there. But I will be there. There's without not one thought in my mind about not being there for this, the Medal of Freedom. The pics the FBI released may actually be the days prior to the shooting when the guy was scouting and casing for a... Thank you, Squeaky Wheel. You know what? You may very well be right. Because I don't see any type of... And they cut off all the dates on here, so you very well might be right. He may have put this hat on and put that shirt on and his backpack to... look at it to blend in with the student body while he was going in and out trying to make sure he gets this, but we don't know when this is. You are absolutely right. Thank you for bringing that to our perspective and thought process, because I do know for a fact with 100% that was what they were saying. They said they were not really pursuing, I mean, they were looking at all the relevant footage that was going on at the time of the shooting, but I know that the FBI protocol would be going back in time and trying to find, because like I said yesterday, somebody scoped this out. So we're looking at days before this event for the suspect, because the suspect scoped this place out. The suspect was up on that roof before this happened. The suspect made sure that he would be able to get in, get positioned, and before, and he even probably got there early enough so in case they did take some safety precautions and start locking some doors, he would have already been on the other side of that door before that door would have locked. This doesn't sound, again, I'm not convinced this is a student, and I'm not convinced that this is not a professional. I've got to still listen to some more information, and I think the reason why they're using college student age is because he blended with this college student body. But I'm looking at this guy, and from my eyeballs, now I don't have good eyeballs, as you guys can see. I don't really see very well without these things on my face. So my eyeballs are not good. But for me personally, I do not believe this guy is college age. I feel like this guy is in his 30s. But you know what? A lot of our young youth that act like this, we all know, are under the age of 30. So the possibility of this guy being in his late 20s, mid to late 20s, is a probability as well. The Democrat politicians are raising murderers in our schools. They're raising murderers in our schools. They're using our taxpayer money to create murderers in our public school system. And I truly, truly believe that. They are trying to screw with people's minds. That's why they're hitting our children in kindergarten and first grade, trying to make them feel that them being confused about their body means that they have to be the opposite sex. Why? Because they do not want us procreating. Why do they not want us procreating? Guys, this is no longer science fiction. This is no longer conspiracy theories. We've got an arm of our government in a dark underbelly of the world that wants to take over the world. And the only people standing in the way is the freest country in the world, the United States of America. The more damage they can do to the United States American, the better chances they have to rule over the world. I know it sounds like a freaking video game, but this is the reality of our world. Our world is greedy. They're power hungry. They don't like our way of life. They want to take away our way of life, and they want to steal all of our possessions. That is the reality of these people. And while they're sitting there and saying, oh no, it's because you're fascist or you're racist or you're as bad as, how is Charlie as bad as the genocide that happened in Germany? I mean, somebody tell me that. How nobody that I've ever known has died under directly as a result of President Trump or Charlie Kirk. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Everybody that goes to prison is still breathing unless they have a medical event or get, offed by another inmate. Prove me wrong. Who did Charlie hurt? Who did Charlie? You know what he did? He hurt a bunch of people's feelings. He hurt a bunch of people's feelings. Wah. Wah. I hurt people's feelings on a daily here. Wah. But people have a lot of waking up to do. And I'm angry. I'm disgusted. And this has only emboldened my position, and I'm not going to keep my mouth shut anymore, not on this platform, not on any platform. If you don't like the politics, now's the time to leave. Unsubscribe. Unsubscribe, because we are going to be ramping up political rhetoric on this channel. We're going to be ramping up our true crime cases. We're going to be ramping up people need to start holding their politicians and everybody accountable. We're going to be ramping up we need to vote ourselves out of this horrific time in our history. And I hope everybody is on board with it. I'm not going to go totally conspiracy theory, like manhunt, I'm going to hunt you down bullshit. But, I want people to know that you don't have to be scared to have your political beliefs, and I want to make sure that we all are doing our part in this ugliness to try to stop some of this ugliness. That's really all we can do at this point. I don't know of any other thing we have, we can do. But I'm not willing to keep my mouth shut and one of you guys get hurt because nobody's willing to talk about it. Right? This could have been somebody in your family. And like I said when I closed out my show yesterday, we should all be very scared of being silenced because of our speech. Because if it can happen to Charlie, it can happen to me, that means it can happen to you. You understand that, right? Even if you're a left-wing nut, do you want to be executed for being a left-wing nut? Of course not. Okay? I don't believe in any of the left-wing propaganda. So based on that theory, I have a right to KILL, right? I have a license to KILL because I don't like your speech. That's a very dangerous position for the left to be in. When you're sitting here and trying to convince the world that you're nonviolent, that you're the party of love and peace, yet you're the party that keeps picking up those guns that you say you despise, and you keep using those guns to hurt people like me and like Charlie and like thy neighbor in the chat, That's like Queen Bee, right? Telling you that no, we're not doing anything behind the scenes, and then everybody starts putting out, text messages from this place and that place that shows that, stuff was really going on behind the scenes while they were screaming victim. This is like no different than that kind of petty crap. The Democrat Party's not the victims. Everybody is the victim of the Democrat Party. And maybe the people that have been voting for this didn't realize this was the case, but now they do. So what are you going to do about it? That's my question. What are each and every one of you going to do about this? And again, I appeal to your good sense and judgment. We have votes that are coming up. Use your votes wisely. And believe me when I say this, it is a matter of life and death. Playtime's over. This is no joke. We either take our country back, or I guarantee, if you have white skin like me, at some day in our future, it's going to be Nazi Germany all over again. You know how I know? Because they just executed Charlie Kirk. That's step one. That's step one. Let's not get them to step two. God bless.